I was gonna say, so when you look at kind of the impact you've been having on the defense this year, I mean, kind of what, I mean, you're playing a lot of snaps, you're in your time. What, obviously you've been around for a while, but what do you think that some of what's kind of gone into it? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is just the whole defense in general. We've had a lot of snaps together as a whole, and I think when you have a lot of guys that have played with each other for a long time, you got a lot of reps together. Like everyone kind of builds off of it, and you can see everyone's performances going up. And I think over the last few weeks, you can really notice a difference, and we're getting a lot better.
Preston, you had the off season, you were out during the spring, you're coming back in the fall. Do you expect to have as big of a role as you're having right now? You're kind of working back and getting into things in the fall.
I mean, it's always hard to say with injuries, and you never know how you're going to kind of feel coming back. I mean, I just kind of kept my head down, kept working, and I kind of just trusted it.
Talk about that chemistry aspect. Can you explain how that might work with you and Hunter back there, and how much does that go into to both the safeties?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot goes into that. I mean, we have a really good connection, and we always just kind of see eye to eye out there. There's times even like we can't even really communicate with each other, but we're still communicating with each other. Like we're on the same page all the time, and I think that goes a long way, especially in the back end with this defense.
So what do you think's been the biggest difference or maybe improvement you guys have made in the run defense? The last few weeks, it hasn't been the big plays that we saw the first few weeks.
I think a lot of it's the physicality up front. Our interior has been playing really, really well, and I mean it makes the job in the back end very easy when guys are making all the plays up front and doing all the heavy loading for us.
So with that new iPad technology, just I think you guys had it for like some of the lines for the bowl game, but just for this season, how has that helped you compared to maybe like last year or the year before in terms of get to the sidelines and you guys can figure out what's going on in the field?
To be honest, I feel like we've actually used it less than we thought we would. I mean, there is moments where it's like maybe you don't quite remember something or like you want to see something, but I mean a lot of times when you're out there in the field, you know what happened, you know maybe what you did wrong, what you did right, and stuff like that. But I mean it can be helpful, big picture wise, like just seeing little things.
You go back even to camp, it seems like you had a nose for the ball, be it fumbles, turnovers, and interceptions. How do you explain that and kind of what's kind of gone into you being able to, as a defensive guy, get your hand on balls?
Yeah, I mean, part of it. I mean, like this weekend was a little bit of luck, just kind of getting one tip to me. But I mean, just trying to do my job, be in the right place, and hopefully they come to me.
For the defense as a whole, how do you kind of go about that turnover aspect? Because as you said, part of it is luck. So how do you kind of go about generating those opportunities and maybe having done better over the last few weeks in that aspect?
I think it's a little bit of a mentality thing. Coach Tress has talked about it, the make a play mentality. You kind of have to, you got to go out there attacking the ball, trying to get interceptions, fumbles, trying to strip the ball from the running back and stuff like that. And I think that can go a long way.
When you start seeing those takeaways coming as a defense, how do you feel like the defense as a whole builds on that? It becomes kind of contagious.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a big momentum thing, especially even for our offense. It's like when we get a turnover, gives them great field position. We see them go score. I mean, the confidence is very high as a defense, and it kind of just keeps us rolling.
I think last week, I think it was career high for you as far as tackles last week. You had some family there. I guess that's pretty close to.
Yeah, it is.
How many people did you have there, and what was it like to be able to, perform like that in front of so many people?
Yeah, I had probably over 30 people there, which is the most I've had to any game. About 2.5 hours from there, and that was the closest game to home in my career. So, and that was really cool to have a bunch of people there and a bunch of support. I mean, I obviously really appreciate that from all of them.
What stood out to you about Northwestern as you started to study them? Come off a pretty big win for them last week.
Yeah, I mean, their QB is very mobile, definitely going to be a threat, and we got to be able to contain him. And they have a good run game. They got some good linemen, good running back, and then they also have a couple of receivers that are pretty dynamic and can really stretch the field.
I'm looking forward to playing in front of a high school stadium, so to speak. I know it's not a high school stadium, but is that going to be different for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a little different, the circumstances there, but I mean it's still a football game. You kind of got to block all that stuff out. It's just us versus them.
You guys have faced a couple of mobile quarterbacks this year. Jalen Noah back in week 3, and then obviously you faced Hudson Card with Purdue. Do you think that maybe helps you guys kind of, prepare better for mobile quarterbacks when you come into this week?
Yeah, I think so. We kind of got the reps in like that, and I know that's kind of the focus this week. I mean, we got to be able to contain him, keep him in the pocket, and make him make throws.
This defense last year, a common thing was slow starts. This year, you guys kind of flipped that. And you had some of what do you think's kind of gone into the defense being able to kind of start games quicker and really jump on teams?
I think a lot of it last year is we had the opening scripts of a lot of games. We were not very good execution-wise, and that was kind of a big emphasis in the off-season. So, I mean, it's just a lot of the games we got to be able to handle things that we haven't seen on film. You're always going to get that from the team in the first few drives. You're going to see things that they've never ran before. It's all new stuff, and you got to be able to handle it.